Good morning, my loves. Happy Friday. Another glorious day here at the lake. Let me show you just real quick. Beautiful blue sky as always. The lake is it's gorgeous. It is relatively peaceful right now. It's Friday, so they should be mowing soon, and that's going to be nice and noisy. So, this is interesting. This is kind of fun. We're going to do what if. Some people did this. We've done it throughout our lives. I think I did it with my son when he was little. It was kind of a game sometimes. You can even, if you play nice, do it over holidays with the adult family. With kids, I guess you could try. It might be a little over their head, but okay. What if we saw each other? And this is just a bunch of different things. What if when you look at somebody, you don't see the color of their skin. You don't see the color of their hair, the color of their eyes. You don't see their culture, their religious beliefs, their political beliefs. What if you see people by the color of their soul, the color of their heart? What if we see people with clarity by their intent, by their motive? That could be interesting. What if you don't see people by where they live, what they have, their home, their car, their clothes, their position, their title, but you see them for their sole purpose? Like, I'm a healer. I know that. I am a teacher and I am a healer. That's why God put me on this earth. I know that. So what if you saw me in that light instead of where I live, what I drive, my titles, my education? Does that make sense? I hope. And you can go a little deeper if you want to have fun with this. It's up to you. What if you could change things about your life? What are 2, 3 things you would change about your life? Some decisions that you've made, mistakes you've made. But you have to remember, every mistake that we have made, every hurdle, every goofy thing, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, painful things that we have endured brought us to where we are today. I would not be where I am right here, right now, had I not gone through absolutely everything that I went through today, to this day. Think about that. What would you change? Would that change the outcome of your life? It could. For the better, for the worse, for the unknown. Would you do that? Would you go back and make a change? I think if I could make a change in my life, everything that I've been through, I think the one change I would make, I would have gone to medical school when I had the opportunity. Because when I got out of nursing school, a lot of docs were saying, you are a great diagnostician. I mean, a differential diagnosis just pops in my head. I am great at this. To this day, I'm good at this. And, they would say, just go to medical school. You really need to go to medical school. And back, I don't know, I graduated nursing school in, 79? And I want to say it was 1980, maybe 81. The physician assistant program came to Kansas. And I thought, okay, this is good. I want to do this. And my parents, no, you don't. You need to focus. You have a baby. You need to focus on, just taking care of business. I wish I would have gone further with my medical studies. Absolutely, positively. Yeah, it would have changed my life, hopefully for the better, I like to think. But it's something to think about. What would you have done differently? Now, if you do this in a group, like at Thanksgiving or Christmas or something as a game, don't be hurtful, hateful, and evil. Don't do that. Don't be snarky. Don't be mean. Don't be vicious. Because, don't get into relationships and snarky stuff. That's not the intent. Now, we're going to roll it back a little bit more. And you could do this with, I don't know. I guess kids maybe up to high school age, that are in high school. I wouldn't do it any younger. I guess maybe you could, depending on the kid. So, rolling it back. Ready? What would you have done differently with your life in elementary school, in grammar school, primary school? I would have been more outgoing. I was just horribly shy, horribly, horribly shy. I was anorexic, so I was super skinny, super pale skin, bright red hair, and I was just, yeah, I would have been more outgoing. I would have had more self-confidence. I mean, I was extremely intelligent. I was very advanced for my age, but I was really shy. I would not have been so shy, I think. Maybe. What about you? What would you have done differently? Now, junior high and middle school. I think that is the hardest time of life for a lot of kids because the hormonal changes, your brain is growing and expanding, and there's so much life to learn, and all the changes are happening at one time. And the social aspects are just continually changing and evolving. Your friends are continually changing and evolving. And it's like you're living in a snow globe every day and somebody's continually shaking it up. What would you have changed about your life in junior high and middle school? If anything, what would you have done differently? Again, I think I would have been more outgoing. I would have had more self-confidence. Yeah, I think so. I would have not cared what people thought about me because that was a huge thing. What would you have done differently? If anything, maybe nothing. Maybe you were the head cheerleader and captain of the football team and you had it great. God bless if you did. But for a lot of folks, there might have been something you wanted to do differently. What would you have done? No, I want to go back. In elementary school, in 5th grade, I had the opportunity, my parents and I had the opportunity to send me to a gifted school because I was that advanced. And they didn't have AP courses, back in the early 60s in elementary school or gifted programs. And I had the opportunity, me and 2 other people in my class. One girl, I will never forget, one girl's name was Tama. And she and I were very, very advanced. And we had the opportunity to go to this other school and, you were taking junior high classes in elementary school. And I was so excited. And my dad said no. Dad said no. He didn't want me to be, he wanted me to assimilate and just be a normal kid. He didn't want me to explore my gifts and abilities, just be a normal kid. I wish that would have been differently. So going back to the junior high, middle school, what would you have changed? Now, for a lot of people, this is when they start getting into drugs and alcohol. This is when they start getting promiscuous. They start exploring sex. What would you have done differently, if anything? Seriously, what would you have done differently? Could change the whole trajectory of your life. High school, same thing. What would you, if anything, what would you have done differently in high school? I would have been more outgoing. I'm still friends with my friends from high school. I mean, I don't see them because we're in different states, of course, all over the US, but I still hear from them just about every day. I know one of them, I talk to Scotty every day. We touch base every day. I talk to Robin a couple of times a year. I talk to Peggy 2 or 3 times a year. We see each other. She and her husband come to Arizona once a year, and we always get together for lunch. And other people, I hear from them, all the time. And I love that. I keep that connection. A lot of them we've lost, but I'm so thankful that we were friends then and as adults. But getting back to the topic, what in high school would you have done differently? Would you have been more outgoing? Would you have made different decisions? Would you have explored sports or music? What would you have done differently? If anything, maybe you would not have changed a thing, but what would you have done differently? My high school days, I tell you, my junior, senior year were amazing. They were great. I was very blessed. I had a lot of good friends, instructors that I adore. And yeah, it was a good time. So now we're into college. What would you have changed or done differently about your college days? Would you have gone to college? Would you have instead gotten married? Or if you had gotten out of high school and gotten married, would you have preferred to go to college? What, if anything, would you have done differently? And why? You have to say why. And there's no judgment. It's just a what if game. What if? It's not the shoulda, woulda, coulda. It's just what if? What if? College. College, over part of college, I was pregnant with my son because I was in nursing school. So I couldn't really party a lot. Um, but I had a good time. It was good. I took it seriously. I did not do the whole sorority fraternity thing, and I wanted to, but I was pregnant and it just really wasn't, yeah, no. But I wish I might have done that, even though I was pregnant with Jeff at the time. I wish I might have explored that. I don't know. But what would you have done differently? What about after college? If you're out of college, what about after college? What would you have done differently? I would have gone to medical school. Absolutely, positively, I would have taken that and ran with it. I don't care if I would have racked up student loans, because back then we had student loans, that you had to repay. And I paid for my own college. My parents did not pay for it. I paid for it for my nursing school. And I should have done that. Hindsight is wonderful. I should have done that. But what would you have done different? What life changes, since college would you have made? I don't regret moving to Arizona. It's so much different than living in the Midwest. It's completely, totally different. I don't regret it. I don't. My health is 1,000% better. I miss my friends, but I don't, And of course, my family is in the Midwest, and I miss them, of course. But for the sake of my health, yeah, because I was sick all the time when I lived in the Midwest. I think a lot of it was just, it's the wind blows all the time, so it was allergy induced. And I was just not, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, meant to live there. Don't know. Hard to say. Maybe I'll go back. Hard to say. But what would you have done differently with your life, if anything? Would you have married different? Do not have this conversation around whoever you married, because you don't want to hurt their feelings. Would you have married sooner? Would you have put it off? Just look at your life with the what ifs. But no, everything that has happened from day one to this day brought us where we are right now. I would not be here right now had I not gone through breast cancer. I genuinely believe that, because everything happened, led me to here. It was a chain of events. The jobs that I took in St. Louis, had I not taken a job with an asbestos firm, had I not been able to move to these beautiful luxury apartments, I would not have met one of my best friends, Rabia, and her sister, Iram. Iram is a doctor who was at the time here. It was her bright idea for me to move to Arizona, and here I am. So, and I don't regret it. I mean, I miss the people that I used to work with. Of course I do. They were great people. I'm still in touch with them. And of course, I talked to Rabia just the other day. She's coming to town in the next few months. Can't wait to see her. Her sister was just here, 2 weeks ago. Love that. So my perspective, everything I've gone through in my life has brought me to this point. Yeah, there's things right now that I would love to change about my life. I would love to be in a house. I would love a little bit more financial security, job security, financial security, absolutely. But I think everybody does, especially right now. But I'm happy. I'm content. I know I try and help a lot of folks. I'm successful. I like to think I'm successful in some way. But it's just something for you to think about today. And it is self-care, because it's Friday, we talk self-care. And it is self-care because self-reflection is self-care. So throughout this process, what would you change about your self-care? I would have learned to eat better and take better care of myself and knock off the anorexia. Absolutely. I would have a better outlook. Back in the 80s, when it was very in vogue to be totally bitchy, I would have stopped that. That was nonsense. So look back into your life. What changes would you make and why? What if?